Hello and welcome. Today we will look at the combination of Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitches. If this is your first time, thank you very much for stopping by. My name is Mirka and I make stitch and pattern crochet and Tunisian crochet tutorials. So if this is of your interest, please consider subscribing. And without further ado, let's dive into today's tutorial. So the tutorial today will be showing you how to create this beautiful texture of Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitches. Tunisian slanted stitch is also known as Tunisian twisted stitch. Please don't confuse it or don't mix it up with the Tunisian twisted up stitch, which is a different stitch altogether. So we are going to be looking at how to create this beautiful texture. So for this tutorial, we will be chaining an even number of stitches. We will start with a slip knot. We then put the slip knot on our hook and we will chain an even number of stitches. Then we will turn the chains and we will work into the back bump of the chain stitches. This is the usual way how to create your Tunisian foundation row. If you don't like to work into the back bumps of your chain stitches, you can work into the top or the bottom loop. It's really entirely up to you as to what look you prefer. If you are a total beginner in Tunisian crochet and this is the first time you come across a Tunisian crochet tutorial, you might as well try to work into the back bumps and then adjust it as you go along and learn more stitches and techniques and pick what you like. So once we've picked up all the stitches in the back bumps of the chains, which is also known as the forward pass, we will then work the return pass, which is work as chain 1 or yarn over pull through 1 and then yarn over pull through 2 all the way back. So we keep on yarning over and pulling through 2 all the way back, which leaves us with one loop on our hook, which is the first stitch of the next row or the edge stitch. So we will now start with Tunisian simple stitch into the first stitch. So we need to insert the hook from right to left under the front vertical bar. We yarn over and pull up a loop. That's one Tunisian simple stitch. And we then work Tunisian slanted stitch. So this is one of those stitches that are a little bit tricky, but you'll get there with a little bit of practice. So we need to work the stitch from left to right rather than right to left. Put the stitch on your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. And what this does, this brings the stitches in the row below together, and we repeat this again. So first Tunisian simple stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, Tunisian slanted stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and repeat this one more time. Tunisian simple stitch and Tunisian slanted stitch. And now we get to the end of the row. We've got the last stitch, which consists of 2 loops or 2 strands of yarn which are on the edge or the edge. We insert the hook under both of these, yarn over and pull up a loop, and this creates a nice neat edge on the end of your work. And then as per the foundation row, we will work the standard return pass of yarn over, pull up a loop or chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, and we keep on repeating this until we have one loop left on our hook. Okay, so this is the stitch pattern. So we will again repeat what we've done in the row before. So we will insert the hook under the first front vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop for Tunisian simple stitch, and then work Tunisian slanted stitch. And we keep on repeating this 2-stitch pattern for the length of your row. Like so. And again, this is followed by return pass, standard return pass. Okay, and you keep on repeating this row for the length of your project, and you will create this beautiful texture on your project. So I'm going to create 2 more rows at the speed, and then I will meet you back to show you how to bind off your project. Once you work your project for your desired length and width, then you get to the last row where we bind off the stitches. So you've got 2 options here. You can either go with the Tunisian simple stitch bind off, which is the one that is usually used. So I'm going to show you what that is going to look like. So you will insert a hook as for Tunisian simple stitch. You work the Tunisian simple stitch, and then you pull it through the loop which is already on the hook. Okay, and you would keep on repeating this until the end of the row with all your stitches. And what this does, this creates an edge which is similar to your bottom edge of chains, so it makes the swatch or the project look really neat because the edges match. However, if you work this stitch pattern of Tunisian simple and Tunisian slanted stitch, then you will see that the last row of the bind off makes the previous row look like a Tunisian simple stitch row, which kind of disrupts the pattern. So what you can do instead, I'm going to pull my bind off, you can follow the stitch pattern. Okay, so you would work Tunisian simple stitch and bind off, and then you would work Tunisian slanted stitch and bind that one off. Okay, so I'm going to continue in the stitch pattern and show you the difference in the way the last row looks. Okay, so when we look at the little swatch now, we can see that the stitch pattern is continued right up to the last row, and then you've got the nice top edge that looks like a chain, that looks like row of chains. Okay, so in this case you maintain the stitch pattern right up to the last row. So it's really entirely up to you what look you prefer and how much you care about the last row maintaining your stitch pattern. So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate if you made it all the way up to the end of the video. Please let me know in the comments below, have you used this stitch combination before, and if you did, what did you make, or what would you like to make with the stitch combination? And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.